So hey guys, today we're coming back with more movie reviews. Today we're doing the second edition of Jurassic Park. This is the Lost World. Jurassic Park, released in 1997. I got Jeffofthemellows coming back at you live.
Hello.
Coming back to you. You might know him from his podcasts or just know him from the last movie review. But he is back to review his favorite of the movies, as he stated in the last review.
Oh yeah, I love this movie.
Oh, okay. Let's get down to it. So the movie, basically, so it's 4 years after Jurassic Park, but they're going to a different island. They're going to Isla Sorna. They're going to Isla Sorna, which is Site B, the sister island of Isla Nublar. And at the beginning of the movie, we get Malcolm. Malcolm returns. The kids return for a small portion, very small portion. Hammond returns for one scene, and he never comes back to the Jurassic Park series.
Yeah, they just returned for one scene.
It was a pretty important scene, but it's a pretty important scene, but it's only one scene. And then eventually we get to meet Eddie Carr, Nick Van Owen, and Sarah Harding, Jerry Harding's daughter from the first movie. And we meet Kelly, Malcolm's kid, eventually. I talked about Sarah. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for the main characters. Oh no, except for Hammond's nephew, who takes over InGen because of that incident at the beginning of the movie. The little girl and his family camps out on Isla Sorna on a yacht, and she discovers compies and they attack her. So Hammond loses control of InGen to his nephew, who now wants to send out an expedition team to Isla Sorna to get some of the dinosaurs to bring them to San Diego. Don't know why he picked San Diego, but whatever.
Probably because of the already very popular San Diego Zoo. But I think they actually did mention.
They did actually mention that, yeah. But let's see. So basically, Malcolm goes to Hammond's mansion following that, and Hammond's a little bit depleted of health. And he talks about there's a separate island that they had to make the dinosaurs before they would go over to Nublar, but that really doesn't make sense because there was a hatching scene in a laboratory in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, which doesn't really make much sense at all. But anyway, Hammond wants Malcolm to go to the island with a small crew to check on the dinosaurs and see if they're doing okay, and to possibly, and in Nick Van Owen's case, to stop the other InGen team from taking the dinosaurs away and taking them to San Diego. They arrive first. Sarah Harding's already on the island when they get there, so they have to find her. They set up base camp. Kelly sneaks away to go with Malcolm. It's Sarah, Carr, Van Owen, and Malcolm. And both the Malcolms on the island. Anyway, after that, they encounter a stegosaur herd and do all that. And then they go to... Then the InGen team comes, they capture some dinos, and then they set up base camp. And then they capture... Then what happens is they have that whole scene about what they're going to do. And that's where we learn about how they're going to take them to San Diego and do that. And then... What happens next? Oh yeah, Van Owen goes down and breaks open a bunch of cages and frees a bunch of dinosaurs. and they tear apart the camp. And then they steal the baby T-Rex, right? The T-Rex, and they take it back because its leg is broken. Then the parents come to try and take the baby away. Then we have one of my more favorite action scenes in the movie, the trailer scene, and Eddie Carr's death.
Yeah.
Rip Eddie. Eddie tries to save the trailer, ends up getting ripped apart in half by two T-Rexes. And the trailer goes down the cliff, so does the car, but everyone survives, so it's except for Eddie. It's pretty good. So then the depleted engine team and Malcolm's team have to merge in order to get to a resource station in the old engine compound in order to call a helicopter to get home. And while they do that, they encounter the T-Rexes again, which leads to that chase scene where a bunch of guys hide under the waterfall and the National Geographic guy dies. Oh, I forgot to introduce Roland.
He didn't just die. He died because the snake fell on him.
Yeah, and then he got
eaten.
eaten.
Freaked out, and then he was like, and then the T-Rex got
Oh,
him.
it's a snake! Snake! And then there was another guy, before all that happened, there was a guy, remember, he got eaten by copies. Because he tased the copy before, like, when they were setting up base camp. And,
Yeah, they got him.
And then there's Roland Tembo. I forgot to introduce Roland Tembo. The game.
He's one of my favorite characters in the entire. Because this movie has so many good characters. It's got him. It's got Ian Malcolm. Nick Van Owen's always been a favorite of mine. There's so many good characters in this movie.
Muldoon. Well, no, Tembo is kind of the Muldoon of Lost World. I mean, he's like very gamey person.
So, actually, one of the deleted scenes I was talking to you about before we were doing this, it was recruiting him, and he was in Africa, and there were these guys being really, they were sexually harassing somebody, right? So, he gets up and kicks the crap out of the guy. Like, literally dislocates his jaw.
Damn.
Yeah, that's one of the deleted scenes. The other one is a meeting where they decide to get rid of the CEO of Indian, and they all, it was a unanimous vote to get rid of John Hammond. Everybody raised their hands.
Yeah, I feel like when I first watched the movie, I didn't know that Hammond lost his position because of the copy incident. I thought it was because of his health. But then I learned it was because of the copy incident, which is another reasonable explanation for losing your job. So anyway, after the National Geographic guy dies, then they all escape. Then they go in the raptor fields, and this is actually the first encounter we get with the raptors. If you've watched Jurassic Park, you know that the raptors in that movie were more of just a generic dull color. Well, these raptors here on Isla Sorna had a tiger stripe kind of look to them. Really didn't make sense. If they were all kind of like breeded the same, why would they have different colors? I don't know. But eventually the group just goes through the fields and are hunted by a huge pack of them. A ton of them die. And then Malcolm, Nick Van Owen, Sarah, and Kelly, they all run after everything's done. Somehow don't even get attacked. They all make it. And, yeah, they make it through. Nick Van Owen then separates from the rest of the group. While Sarah, Malcolm, and Kelly go into the compound where they are attacked by more raptors.
Yeah, there's a lot of raptors. I'm watching this scene right now.
You're watching the field scene or the one in the compound?
Yep, the field scene right now.
Oh, there's a ton of raptors on Isla Sorna. In the movie and in the game, Jurassic Park Trespasser, that 1997, whatever, is a computer game, there's more raptors in that than there are in all 5 or 6 of how many movies there are combined.
Yeah. I mean, there's literally 7 raptors approaching them right now. Now they're getting attacked. And that's just in the field.
Yeah, and then you got like a bunch of them in the compound, and there's probably more.
Yeah.
But anyway, and many people don't like this next part I'm going to be talking about, which is when they're in like this shed, this building, and Malcolm's kind of like cornered by this one raptor, and Kelly uses gymnastics to kill the raptor, kicking it out of the window and impaling it on a stick below.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a very well liked scene by many people.
I think it's cool.
I mean, it's
I think,
cool.
I think they don't show enough of like dinosaurs dying, like the people actually getting the victory over the dinosaurs. So when you do get it, it's like, yeah, woohoo! Now we're 1 for a million.
Exactly.
Yay.
Exactly. There's another scene where Sarah's like on a roof that has those shingles that you can just pull right off, and they're like in sections. There's a raptor on top. She narrowly escapes death there. She somehow survives a landing from that high roof onto her ground. While
This
the
is
raptor.
one of the scenes that doesn't make any sense to me, because the only reason she survived is because she knocked a raptor onto another raptor, and they got into a fight, and one of them killed the other.
Yeah, but like first you gotta survive the fall, which can 1 break your arm, 2 break your leg, 3 break your back, which is instant death, no matter if you survive the fall or not. Second, you got to get away from the raptors, who, since they're extremely smart, that we learned in the first movie, would team up to try and kill you instead of trying to kill each other. I don't know.
Yeah.
But eventually, they all make it. Nick Van Allen's able to call in a helicopter, and they're able to all get on the helicopter safely. Yeah, pretty much it. But that's not all. Because as they're getting on the helicopter and flying away, we see that Tembo was able to bring down, they brought down the buck Rex, right? The male one? Not the female one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought down the male one. They brought down the male Rex, and he's tranquilized, and they also were able to get the baby. So you think that's it, right? You know, they're flying off the island, they're all safe. Well, Lost World just pulled a sneaky on you, and did something that, and decided that the movie was not over yet. And this actually is a fun fact that the San Diego scene, like the San Diego secondary part in this movie, was a late addition to the movie, because Spielberg originally had a plan for the second movie, which would then involve them going back to Nublar and getting involved with the Barbasol can. Like, he had a whole plan for that. But when Michael Crichton released his novel in 1995, he had to change it all up because of that. And eventually, late in the game, he decided to put in the San Diego scene, which I think is a pretty good scene. We'll get down to it in a minute, but I would have liked to see that movie with the Barbasol can as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That would
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sweet. But anyway, so Malcolm, Harding, Kelly, they're all home. Well, we won't see Kelly again until the very end of the movie. So it's basically Sarah and Malcolm. They're in San Diego at the dock. They're having a huge press conference where Hammond's nephew is like doing a press conference. They're awaiting a boat arrival and stuff, and so a guy comes over to him and says, the boat has arrived early. I don't know why. So the boat comes crashing full speed into the dock. I don't think anybody died of that, but whatever, I mean. And then what happens is they investigate the boat. Like, well, where's the crew? You know, there's like no crew members on this boat at all, and which also doesn't make sense. Like there should be more remains of crew members if they were all murdered. But whatever. They get on the boat and
Well, it doesn't make any sense, and it makes you wonder, like, why the hell did they do that? And this is like one of the dumbest plot points of any movie I've ever seen, and that's another reason why this movie's so great. Is it literally, there's just like the guy's arms are attached to the steering wheel of the boat, but how did the T-Rex get him? Because the baby was transported separately, and the dad was underneath the thing the whole time. How did these people die?
yeah, like there's no signs of the T-Rex breaking out of its like spot under the boat until. Well, let's finish it off. So like they're inspecting the boat and stuff, and then there's a guy who decides to open the cargo hold for some stupid reason, and the Bach Rex breaks out and gets off the boat and is now in San Diego. He does kind of like, you know, an impersonation of the first movie, the T-Rex did the roar in the visitor center. He stands on the edge by the thing and roars at downtown San Diego, which I guess is a weak impersonation, but I don't know, whatever you want to do. But it just really baffles me on how the boat wasn't more destroyed if the T-Rex had already gotten out once.
Well, I have a theory, and it's a pretty good theory about what happened, and it would make sense why there are not very many people on the boat, and I call it the rogue raptor theory, because the raptors snuck onto the boat. Now, this is not a situation where I'm talking about them, both humans and the raptors dying, and it would make more sense. Like, these people are all pushing off the raptors, and then he comes to like a final stand. It's like thunder and lightning, and it's a guy standing in the rain, facing head to head against a raptor, and the raptor just jumps on him, and they both fall in the ocean, and that's where all the crew went. Like, it was just rogue raptors.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, but why would they not even, like, there's not even, like, any hints towards raptors being on the boat at all? I feel like if they, I feel like if they wanted to make that,
except for that captain's hand.
I guess so, but, like, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. It's still something that's up to debate, even to today. So anyway, after that, they go into the cargo hold to get the baby. No, the baby's in the enclosure that's gonna house the Rexes. So Malcolm and Harding drive to go get the baby. They successfully retrieve the baby quite quickly, and now they have to find Now they have to find the other Rex and lead him back to the ship, where they'll leave the baby and the Rex, and then tranquilize the Rex and send him back. One quick fun fact: the boat that the Rex comes to San Diego on is the exact same boat that brought King Kong to the mainland. I think it's the SS Venture. Just another quick fun fact for you there. You're watching the movie, so you could actually fact check me on this if you want.
Here, let me quickly fact check you real quick. I don't have to go very far back. Enough. You see the name of the boat? I think you might be right.
I know it's the same boat as King Kong, but I don't know the names right.
Well, I'm almost there. They're all looking. The boat's coming in real fast. They're getting up in the control room. They're about to die. Ludlow's leaving.
Oh, that's the Hammond's nephew's name, Peter Ludlow.
It is the SS Venture.
Yay, I was right.
I did not know that. I didn't know that until you mentioned it. That's a cool Easter egg.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool Easter egg. Let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, they retrieved the baby from the thing, and now they gotta find the male Rex in order to bring him back to the boat. And we get this whole rampage where the Rex is going on a rampage through San Diego. Cars are crashing everywhere. And he ends up going into a suburban neighborhood and drinking out of a chlorine pool and then eating the family dog.
Yeah, you get to that, one of my favorite scenes where there's just a T-Rex walking down the main street of a city, and he knocks over a box, and the cars flip all over the place. He fights a street light, and then there's this really, really cool, like, bit that if you pause it just right, here, let me get to it. But it's just filled to the brim with Easter eggs. It's when there's a movie store, there are a lot of Easter eggs in there for Steven Spielberg movies and everything. I mean, you can see Arnold Schwarzenegger right over there. Where's the other one? There's a really big one. And I don't remember.
Well, let me describe the scene because I think I know what you're talking about. The Rex is running down the street and he crashes into a bus, and then so the bus is stuck in gear and it drives straight into a Blockbuster. And crashes into a Blockbuster, and then right after that, there's the scene where that guy tries to enter the store to avoid getting eaten and gets eaten right at the door. You know what I'm talking about, that one?
Yeah.
The guy that gets eaten is like, I want to say he's not the director. Steven Spielberg was the director.
I think he's literally called Screamer number 3 or something.
No,
like
he's
that.
like one of the
I was
main.
looking at the cast and crew before I was doing this. I think his name was like literally Screamer 3 or 4.
But he's like one of the cast. He's like a big like crew member that worked hard. I think he's like not an animator. He's not. He's like an assistant director or something. Or was it? No, it wasn't Michael Crichton, the actual novel guy. He hasn't actually made an appearance in the movies yet, which kind of sad. You know, you write the books and you don't even get a cameo in the movies or nothing.
Yeah.
But I forget his name, but he's pretty important. So that happens. And then they go to the gas station. And they go to the gas station.
The giant 8-ball that falls from it.
Yep, and I get one of the weirdest looking T-Rex faces I have ever seen in my life. Like the T-Rex looks straight at them and then like rears its head like sort of like just like right up in the air and barely opens its mouth. It is so weird. Just looks so stupid when it happens.
So
It is.
literally right there. Hold on. Ready? They're talking about because they have the baby and they're trying to get it to make a sound so they can get it out of the city.
Are you at the scene where at the gas station and they're trying to get the Rex?
I see what you mean. It looks like the T-Rex is moaning rather than roaring. It's like.
And then I had a dream one night where that movie, like, that happened, like, that scene happened, and the T-Rex made that face, and then Sarah Harding imitates the face, and it works so well together, like, their faces are literally, like, the same thing, and it was, like, so weird.
Yeah.
Like, no! And now I can't get it out of my face. Every time I see that scene, I'm like, oh crap, Sarah Harding can do the exact same face.
Anyway, after they go to the gas station, they're taking T-Rex and the little T-Rex through it looks like some kind of shipyard.
Yeah, they go back to the boat.
Probably where the boat is, but they're being chased by police as well.
Yeah, they're being chased by police and animal control, but that doesn't last long. The Rex kind of just fends him off.
Yeah.
And then they are going to. One of my favorite scenes from this part is when they run, like they're maneuvering their way through all this like cargo and like the walls and the doors and everything, and then the Rex just busts right through it all, just like, come here now. You know, it's just like, I like that part. I just like when big things bust through walls or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that scene. So they eventually get back to the boat, and Ludlow's like looking for the baby. He's like, "Where is this baby? Where? What have you done with him?"
Yeah.
So they go back and they put the baby in the cargo hold, and then Ludlow goes after the baby, and so he gets into the cargo hold, and then here comes Daddy. Another fail on the movie's part. Stomping footsteps. Have you ever heard of that? Lost World Jurassic Park. Because this T-Rex is somehow able to get onto the dock, onto the boat, and down into the cargo hold without even being noticed by either the baby or Ludlow until the baby runs to the buck. Like, Ludlow doesn't even know the T-Rex is there until that happens.
Well, you don't even know if the T-Rex got up or down because it's a pretty freaking steep slope. It's meant to pull the cargo out like on a treadmill sort of thing. There's stairs alongside, but there's no way in hell that T-Rex climbed those stupid stairs.
No, it's just like a big ramp. They show the
literally a looks like 45-degree slope that is metal. I just don't understand how the T-Rex got up or down without getting noticed.
Exactly. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. When you're a T-Rex, you can't do that. But anyway, so then Ludlow tries to escape.
Actually, they show you exactly how they do it. I forgot about that. They actually show you the T-Rex coming down the stairs behind it.
Yeah, I told you that. They show that scene. It's like a ramp. I don't think it's 45 degrees, but it's a ramp.
Grabs Ludlow by the leg, and instead of eating him, lets the baby eat him.
Yeah, he breaks Ludlow's leg so Ludlow can't escape, and then he lets the baby finish him off. Kind of just teaching him how to do it.
Yeah. Like father, like son.
Like father, like son. And then they cut to a CNN thing. Sarah and Malcolm are asleep on the couch in the morning, and Kelly's watching CNN. And they're showing the boat heading back to Sorna to drop off the dad and the baby. And then we have John Hammond making his final appearance in a Jurassic Park movie ever with that interview.
He died
saying,
right after that.
Well, no, he didn't actually die for like another 17 years. But
no, you're like in real life. Yeah, sure.
No, Richard Attenborough didn't die until 2014.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought he died way, way long ago.
No, he died in 2014. Jurassic Park 3 was just so bad they didn't want to bring Hammond into the equation.
Jurassic Park 3 wasn't that bad. There were a lot of weird fucking things and a lot of plot holes, but like, a lot of people give old movies like that too much crap. And then they look at new movies, like watching the new one, Fallen Kingdom, watching it for the first time, I absolutely hated it. It was awful. But then thinking about it over like the process of a month, it just got better and better as I thought about it.
Okay, we're going off track. We need to save those for the actual other reviews. But, okay, so let's see what we were reading. Yeah, Hammond is talking about how these dinosaurs don't need human intervention to live and how they should just be living alone on the island, and we see the T-Rexes playing each other and everything.
Yeah.
It's a good ending, except for San Diego's in complete wreckage, and a bunch of people died. But other than that, oh, it's okay. So that's Lost World Jurassic Park for you. Well, for anybody who watches this, whenever it gets uploaded. My final rating, probably 9 out of 10. Because it is a sequel, but it's still really good.
For me, it's definitely 10 out of 10. It's got some really good scenes. It's got some cool new dinosaurs. It's got some amazing actors in it. It has really big plot holes that I just find hilarious. Like, when a movie, you know a movie's good when you have to think about it, to wrap your head around certain things? Like, for instance, Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom will be a separate review. Please don't talk about it. Well, there you go. Okay, well, it's getting to the 31-minute mark. We went over our limit again, but that's okay. Alright, I'm just gonna put you over here for now. Alright guys, that is it for this review of The Lost World Jurassic Park. In the next episode, we will go in depth to the third movie in this series, Jurassic Park 3. So I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.
Bye!